Hello, everybody. It is I, Aaron.
And it
And
is
I'm
I, Grant.
I'm here today with my good friend Grant, roommate, guy I've known since we played T-ball
Housemate.
together.
True.
Man, what a time.
And
But
here we are now.
this is a paper dungeon, and specifically, this is Grant's one shot for his character that he will be playing in campaign 2, which will be premiering at a time that we will disclose when this is out. It'll probably be posted in the chat because we don't know an exact date as of this recording. Who knows? It may even pop up on the screen. I don't know if we can do some fancy editing or something.
Probably.
Yeah. You can't see him, but our camera guy, Drew, is giving us the thumbs up in the background. Um, but yeah, this is for us, it is the third one shot that has been recorded. Although it may not be the third one that you see, it may be the first, it may be the second, it may be the last one you see. Who knows?
Ooh.
But there will be one shots for every single one of the characters that is going to be playing in campaign 2. So keep an eye out for those, as well as any additional content. If you backed us on our Kickstarter, then you will have gotten to see some pretty sweet behind the scenes action where you can see what we see unedited. So thank you for that. You make our world go round. Grant, do you have anything that you need to say before we get started?
You know I do, as always.
Of course.
I feel nervous. This is the first time playing a character, and this will be the character for probably years. And so I'm excited, and it feels like I'm ready to meet somebody that I haven't met yet by playing this character. So let's do this. Whatever happens, happens.
I'm excited to meet them as well, and I hope that all of you watching are too. So we don't have an intro or anything, so let's just get right into it. Our story tonight takes us to a small little cove named Dead Pine Grotto, as a pretty rustic, a little battered but well maintained, a little clipper ship, a schooner called the Skirmisher, slides into the bay. On board, we are going to take our camera. We're just going to bring it to the captain of this ship. Grant, would you like to introduce your character? Tell us about yourself. How old are you? What do you look like?
Sure. I go by Captain Leslie on this ship, and I am about 28 years old, theoretically. Years don't really function the same on the system I'm from, so it's a little different. And he's a younger man wearing a confident smile despite looking tired. His glinting caramel gold eyes gaze from below the brim of his dark cowboy-esque hat. Scruffy, sandy hair pokes out around his head, complemented by his bushy but well-kept mustache. You can tell he means business. He's got a tattoo on his neck that in the native language means pruner. You can tell his hide vest presents a crest on his left breast, Captain. You can tell he's worn these clothes many times. His dark canvas-like sleeves are faded and beginning to wear around the cuff, as is his collar. His denim pants have developed wear lines where the charcoal dye has rubbed away, and the pointed boots they're tucked into could use a good polishing, to say the least. His pronounced face and determined eyes makes Leslie look altogether dangerous and kind.
That was fantastic.
And he has a rifle on his back, which I forgot to write.
Also, shout out to this being the most prepared that Grant has ever been.
I wrote this morning.
Let's go. So, Captain Leslie, you have just pulled into Dead Pine Grotto. Kind of one of you would call it a safe house if it wasn't a bay for your ship to rest. A little undercover, because you have been running raids on Imperial ships for the past, almost a year to longer at this point. This civil war has been going on quite a while. You are kind of well, the words that people call you would describe you as a hero to the rebels. Um, you have completed a successful raid on this day, which has been not exactly a change of pace, because you haven't failed yet. If you had failed, you'd probably be dead. But recently, you have been getting a bit more trouble by the name of a privateer who goes by Captain Bromley Silvers Morrow.
Bromley Silvers Morrow, my
also known as
nemesis.
just Captain Silvers. Recently, the government, in order to kind of attempt to cur the rebels, basically is hiring criminals. They are offering to remove their outstanding warrants and basically forgive them of their crimes, assuming that they work for the principal government and navy in hunting down rebel ships. Most of them you haven't had any problem with, because they come at you with their galleons and massive cannons, but your ship is designed for speed, so you're able to outmaneuver and outpace them in hit and run tactics, guerrilla warfare. But Captain Silvers is a little different. He's trickier. He's a little less bloodthirsty. Rather than being a murderer or a pirate, he was a smuggler. That's what most of his crimes were for. And he has been on the verge of thwarting you for most of your escapades recently. Although this most recent one, apparently you outmaneuvered him, because you are he was not present. You were able to successfully complete your raid without any problems. But as the night falls, small little fires begin to start up on your deck as people huddle around for warmth. And you walk from the helm to greet your crew. The first couple that you see is a young man currently learning swordplay from an older gentleman. This young man is known as Young Timothy, specifically because you have another Timothy on board, and it would be really confusing to just say Timothy.
Yeah.
Young Timothy is a 16-year-old human, kind of dusty brown hair, bright green eyes, and that just are full of hope, full of energy, and a willingness to fight, although he has not been allowed to. He's a bit of a stowaway and still pretty young to be entering into combat. But he's being prepared, he's being taught by Jerry Thompson. Thompson is an older shifter and the most experienced in combat on board, although his prowess in combat has much decreased, as he is like hitting early 70s. So he currently functions as your ship's cook. But he is calling out to young Timothy as he wields a cutlass, and he's like, "Boy, swing it with your hips, boy! Your hips!" And young Timothy is like, "Yes, Jerry, with the hips."
I would love to approach them.
Absolutely.
Just give me a moment real quick, Jerry. Jerry was the name of the old man,
Yes,
right?
Jerry is the name of the old man. By all means,
I look at young Timothy. Young Timothy, I have a question to ask you.
He like drops a sword and salutes you. He says, "Yes, Captain. Yes, sir."
At ease. It's okay. We're just practicing. When you decided you wanted to join this team, why did you say yes?
Because it's the right thing to do, sir. And because you're a hero, and I want to be a hero. And I think that if I can learn that from anyone, it's going to be you, sir.
And when you're fighting, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about the enemy? Or are you thinking about why you're here?
Sir, I haven't gotten the chance to fight yet, sir, but I'm ready.
I know you are. You need confidence in your swing. It seems like you're almost afraid to hit them. Think about why you're here, Timothy. That's what will bring you confidence, but strengthen your stride. The truth is, I'm afraid. But I'm a hero because of why I do it. That's what I remember. As you grow and as you fight, Don't forget why you're here. Now show me again.
He like
Jerry,
scrambles
here
to
we
pick
go.
up the cutlass, and he like stands in front of you. I'm gonna actually roll for young Timothy, kind of see how he does here.
Let's go.
I'll give him advantage because of your inspiring speech there. Timothy is not proficient with a sword yet. So he won't gain any of that. But he's a strong young lad. He originally he's a real farmer's boy. So he's got that like farmer's tan. He's basically like your character that I just can't remember the name of from Between
Bailey
the Roads.
Patterson.
Bailey Patterson. He's a real
I
Bailey
love how
Patterson
often
build.
Bailey Patterson comes up.
And sure enough, kind of like he takes a moment to pause, close his eyes, and you hear Jerry whisper to him, "Use your hips, boy. Your hips." Like you're throwing a bale of hay. And he frankly commits to the blow and slices a beautiful, almost like singing arc through the air. You can hear as it cuts through the wind itself. And he opens his eyes and he looks at you and he's like, "Sir, I'm just saying, I think if you're by my side, I don't know if I can be afraid."
And Timothy, I put my hand on his shoulder. Even when I'm not by your side, I have full faith in you. That was a marvelous
a
swing.
little.
Bravo.
Like a single tear runs down
I'm
his
glad you're on the ship. Unfortunately, because there's been some arguments. That was a great swing, but you're gonna continue to have to run gunpowder until you're actually
I
ready to join
sir.
the fray.
I understand. But if you need anyone, if you need an extra hand, or if we're under attack, I will be there, and I will swing just like I taught you to, or you taught me to. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Just a little blunder happens all the time, even to the best of us.
Okay. And Jerry will who's kind of sitting on a barrel. He'll like lean heavily on an old longsword. He used to be a merchant guard rather than like a sea fighter. So he's a bit more caravan based. He leans on it to stand up, and he like kind of staggers over to you, having sat down too long. And he says, "Aye, Captain, mighty fine teacher you are. Very well done. It's good to have you. The boy's right, and you are a fine man."
I appreciate that, Jerry. But to be honest, I'm not as skilled when it comes to the actual fighting part. I aim to inspire, but I'm glad you're here because you know how to do the other stuff.
No.
Aren't you supposed to be cooking?
Oh, dinner's already been made. It's waiting for you over by the rest of the crew. I just took a few minutes away to teach this young lad how to swing. And besides, you don't need to be too good at fighting. You've got Lieutenant Ripper at your side. And
That's true.
let me tell you.
Ripper, I swear, if I wasn't here, I think Lieutenant Ripper would do just fine without me.
If you weren't here, I don't think the rest of us would be if she was around.
That's a good point. I do keep her at bay, I think. We're a good team, you know. I'm glad she's aboard, too.
Absolutely.
It's a ragtag group of individuals we got here, but it seems like it's all working out the way it should be. You know, it feels right. Like, we're all from different paths, but for some reason this conflict has brought us all together. It's something that I could have never seen happening, but here we are next to you, old Jerry. You know, it's nice.
Old Jerry is right. I wish that well, I shouldn't say that I wish that this war happened some 30 years earlier, but I do miss swinging my blade around sometimes. But speaking of that ragtag crew, I'm sure most of them are waiting for you over by the pot of stew.
Pot of stew sounds mighty fine after that raid. We took a bit of a beating, but we got out of there. Thank goodness Captain Silvers wasn't there, because if he would have caught us surprised like that, I don't know if we would have made it out that time, if I'm to be honest. And don't tell the crew I said that.
Oh, of course, sir.
But he's been figuring out our tricks. and I'm a little
Yeah.
nervous.
He's a sly old dog. He's been going about the smuggling business for years. I remember him even as when I still guarded caravans. He was a upstart at that point, but he was still as clever as they come. Real weasel, that one.
Well, I trust with your strategy and Ripper's tenacity that we'll be able to take him down someday. And I offer a handshake, like a warm
Absolutely.
handshake to him.
Jerry has a frighteningly strong grip strength. Like it's like he's basically skin and bones at this point. A real, like thin whip-like muscles all up and down his arm, covered in scars from old battles. And he grabs your hand. It hurts, but he shakes it.
I brave the pain. Maybe
Yeah.
my face scrunches a little bit, but I try to mask it as sincerity.
Yeah, absolutely. And he says, well, go. You need to eat. Keep up your strength. It's a good one tonight. We managed to get a bit of supplies from that raid as well. So.
Yep, looking like a thirds kind of night, if you know what I mean. Jerry, I'm glad you're here. I'm going to get some stew.
Go get them.
And we fight and we pray. I start singing a little ditty as I go to the crew, I guess.
Absolutely. As you're kind of humming to yourself, singing a little tune, you see the other Timothy, which also just goes by Tim. Tim is a middle-aged halfling who is a bit around the plumper side even still. He used to be a baker back before the war broke out. But he is currently drinking with the heaviest drinker on the ship, Keen Lun, who you actually knew. You brought him with you when you joined. He was part of the same group. He is not native to he was a foreigner even when you knew him. Originally.
not from Ouroboros.
Oh yeah, he's from he's from Vadakesh, very distant.
Gotcha.
A big fellow, full of muscles and bruises and black eyes. He used to be a bit of a tavern brawler, heavy drinker, but he really found a place on your crew and learned a lot of respect. And is really trusted now to help those who need helped. It's kind of as though he's one of those people who never really had a place, and then it just turns out that the place he needed to be was in war. He was just kind of naturally meant to be a fighter, and he's really toned down now that he's in a place that fits him. But he's slamming him back with Tim, who is holding his own. Always he's a stout halfling, so he can hold his own. Kin doesn't seem to be stopping or slowing down. Tim is looking a little on the ropes, but they both see you, and Tim goes, Captain! Oh yes. Fine raid today, sir.
I agree. You all did wonderfully. In fact, I see you're having fun. Keep on doing that. Don't even worry about, the closing duties. I'll cover them for you guys. You did so well, and I think we're out of the thick of it for tonight. So have some fun, rest. In fact, I think I might have a drink with you.
Kin holds up a mug of ale and he says, "I already had the next 7 poured, sir."
Next 7? Oh,
well,
man.
At least half of them are mine. But come on over, have a drink. Have a drink.
All right. Is it just us at this location having drinks?
Other nameless NPCs.
Okay, sounds good.
But there are plenty. Your crew is not large. The schooner is manned by at most 35 people, and you're running a little under that. So it's around 25 to 30 in your range. But I only have listed the important ones. So. But there are plenty of other people.
I'll sit with them. I'll share a drink. Did you say his name was Keen?
Yeah, Qin.
Qin. Okay.
Last name Lun, Lun.
Okay, Keen and Tim. Okay, interesting. I start drinking with them. Having a good time.
Absolutely.
As I get a drink in, I'm probably not going to drink very much.
You're not gonna slam them back or anything.
I gotta at least stay somewhat vigilant, right? There's a whole crew here. I I do take a beat as the chaos kind of slows down, and I say, Keen. I look Keen in the eye.
He looks back at you, still wildly sober for the amount that he's been drinking.
Impressive. I just want to take a moment to say, I'm glad you're here today. When you took those two gentlemen and smashed them together and they just crumpled to the ground, I didn't even know that was possible.
Oh, surely you remember back when I fought in... I mean, I was a bit of a troublemaker back then, but... I mean, you were present for a couple of the fights that I got into.
Of course, that's why I reached out to you in this little pickle we're in.
And I thank you for it, really. You've been kinder to me than I've deserved for a real long time.
No, Keen, you've been kinder to us.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. Really, it means a lot that you'd put faith in someone like me. I got into quite a bit of trouble, all those years ago. And you know, it's tough being not from a place, but you've all really made it feel like home, and I'm sure that we're gonna take it back.
See, that's why I'm glad you're here, King. This is all about home, because we don't have one anymore. This has to be it for now. But one day we'll have our home back. And Tim, and I look at Tim.
Tim's like halfway leaning on the table, a little sideways, and he goes, "Oh yes, sir."
I think you did real well today. It was brutal. I saw you miss a couple times. I'm not gonna lie, but that's all right.
I was firing my cannons as many times as I could, and let me tell you, that's young Timothy. He's a good
what I was
lad,
gonna say.
Me plenty of powder and
yes, powder. Mm-hmm.
And you know, sir, I miss my wife.
Oh,
but I'm sure that it's gonna be. He just passes out. He just fully blacks out at that moment. He's gone.
Well, I guess I don't have to compliment him no more.
He raises a mug and he goes, "I am the victor again!" And everyone cheers. And Kin then challenges someone else. And he says, "Go on, Captain. You need to go get some food. Get something in you. Not everyone can hold their liquor quite like I can."
And I'm gonna get to that point. I'm gonna get Tim in his bed. And
don't worry. We've got people for that. Young Timothy! And Timothy just pops up and he's like, "Yes, sir." And then he says, "Take your older self to bed now." And young Timothy goes, "Yes, he's a halfling." And they have this weird discussion. As you head away
and nod, like just go with it. He's wasted. That's the kind of face I'm expressing to young Timothy. What could you say?
You head closer to your table. Off to the side, you do see your ship's doctor, Dr. Anna Rose, who is a tabaxi, a pretty thin, lean tabaxi. A cat woman, for those of you who don't know the D&D terms. With kind of silver fur covering most of her, silver and white. Who is currently treating one of your primary melee combatants, Anna Lee, a young pixie who joined your crew. She was once a gardener and is now a rather vengeful melee combatant after the loss of her wife. She is known as the Ankle Ripper because being a pixie, her main form of combat is cutting through the enemy lines and then quite literally cutting at their Achilles tendons and the back of their knees, bringing them down to her level, where she proceeds to finish them off.
We're scrappy. We get the job done.
Yeah, she is a vicious little thing, and took a bit of a hit during this past raid. Being one of your main melee fighters, she tends to get beat up quite a bit. So Dr. Anna Rose is currently making very precise stitches Dr. Anna Rose is not a licensed doctor. Well, she was. Her license was removed for malpractice, but you take what you can get.
Absolutely.
Here on the skirmisher.
I'd like to approach kind of in a fashion of leading the celebration or leaving the celebration behind me and transitioning to a little bit more of a serious tone. How's the damage looking?
Dr. Anna Rose doesn't even look up at you, fully concentrated on her task. And she says, there's no need to worry, sir. We will have it repaired post haste. Wonderful flesh. She has very good for stitches.
Well, that's good, I suppose. I'd prefer if she didn't need stitches in the first place, but if her skin accepts them well, then I'll take that as a win.
Anna, opens an eye up at you and says, "Oh, it's all right, Captain. I don't mind shedding a little blood for the cause. In fact, I prefer it. A bit of my blood spilled is nothing compared to the bodies I drop in the name of me wife."
I'll take a drink to that, and I take a sip of my drink.
She says, "Could you pass me one of those?"
Oh, is that all right? I asked the doctor.
She says, "Well, we haven't been using anesthetic, so I suppose it couldn't hurt."
Yes. Keen, I need 1 pint. Real quick.
Absolutely. Keen holds up 4 pints and then looks at them and then realizes you said 1 and then sets 3 of them down.
And I point that as for the pixie who's small, right? So yeah.
Absolutely. He fills it to the brim and slides it down. He sends young Timothy to bring it over to you.
Of course. Thank you, son. Thank you,
yes.
Timothy.
He salutes, but he still has a mug, not the one he was given, in his hand, and he hits himself in the forehead a little bit with it in his urgency to salute you. He says, "Yes, sir. Now I gotta get back to yeah, okay." And he runs back over to Keen Lund, who's currently attempting to challenge young Timothy to a drinking contest, which everyone else on the crew is he is not old enough to drink. And Keen's
yeah.
I've been drinking since I was I was 10.
Yo, Keen is still a troublemaker.
When I started
as Timothy starts going back, I say, whatever you do, don't take no sips, no nothing. Keen doesn't know what he's doing.
Yes, Captain. Yes, Captain. Yes.
Now you have fun.
Over, as he does kind of look like he wants to join in, but he holds himself back at your orders.
Chuckling, I will hand the pint to the pixie. What's her name again?
Her name is Anna.
Anna. Okay, it's back to Anna.
Yeah, you have Anna and you have Dr. Anna Rose.
Right. Okay.
Right next to each other. So it's always a little bit confusing. Dr. Anna Rose's first name is Raquel.
Okay, gotcha.
She takes out a long straw and sticks it into the pint so that way while laying on the ground getting stitches, she can still drink from the pint. She says, "Oh yes, Captain, that's nice. Well, this was a good bit that we stole from him. This is some good mead."
I didn't know we got that from the raid, but...
Oh, Kinlun came back carrying 2 barrels, so I'm not sure what else you expected from him.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, Keen was on he had another task. He wasn't supposed to grab barrels, but I hope he sure got the other items that we asked him to get.
Him, always been a little bit of an overachiever.
What are you going to do? I guess the crew needed a little celebrating anyways. What do we need? More weapons? No.
Absolutely, it was a fine raid. We've done a good job. We should be rewarded for it. Many lives I took today.
Is that right?
Many.
I wanted to take a moment, just real quick. Today was a bit of a rough one. I think it's good, Anna, that you're starting to feel a little better, that you're getting healed up here. But if I had my way, nobody would have to be on this table. But of course, that's not the reality we live in. So even though you see it as an honor, I really appreciate the kind of sacrifice you're making for our cause here. And you, Anna Rose, you've saved more lives than then he seems like he's
Mhm.
a little emotional.
Um,
I just I would have been really broken up if we would have lost any of the injured, and the fact that we've only lost a couple it means the world to me. It makes me think we can really do this thing.
Anna Rose finishes up her stitches and ties them off and kind of pats Anna on the back. She turns to you and she says, "My dear Captain, you have given me back my passion that was taken from me. Saving lives is such a vital part of who I am, and for years I had lost that, all because of a, well, uh, I have my reasons as for why my license was taken away, but you looked past those reasons, and for that I am ever so grateful. And given the opportunity to save lives again means so much to me. If you are ever wounded, and losing blood, and with almost irreparable damage, I will do everything I can to save your beautiful skin."
Thank you. Thank you. I think that's a very nice sentiment. Thank you very much. But I'll do my best not to get in that
Yeah.
situation.
Anna sits up and she looks at you and she says, "Captain,
Yes, Anna. I know that it's just gonna be something off the rails. So
when my
yes, Anna.
wife was killed before me, um, amongst the flowers of my garden, as her blood fed the ground below her, I swore that I would take my vengeance out on those bastards who took her from me. And I thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, and every day that I get to send one of those vicious souls to the afterlife, amidst a prayer for her, I send a prayer to you, and a thanks. And if I die on that battlefield, you don't have to worry, 'cause I'll be doing what I love, ending the lives of those miserable monsters that take our homes, kill our loved ones, and are frankly just pieces of garbage to be thrown out and incinerated."
That I that actually makes him chuckle a little bit. Well, I do admire your enthusiasm. I don't quite share your excitement for or veracity for killing, but
Well, it's not about killing in a sense. It's about doing what needs to be done, sir. It's about
that
removing the filth of the earth that plagues our planet. It's about
Anna,
doing the right
Anna,
thing.
Anna, thank you for helping us. And I'm glad that you can avenge your wife. I think I'm
And if
glad
it
you can
weren't
do
for
that
your
here.
strategies and your plans and your quick thinking getting us out of trouble when we find ourselves in it, I wouldn't have this many opportunities to rip out their throats. And for that, I thank you.
Yeah. I I think that's great. Let's drink to that, and then I think I got to do some other things.
Aye, she
But
grabs the. Mind you, she's like the size of a medium to
oh my
small cat.
gosh.
Like she is not large. So like she grabs the whole mug of ale with two hands and just starts slamming it back, almost drowning herself in ale. And she
Oh
like
my
stops for a second. She
god.
goes, the stitches. And she go and Dr. Anna Rose looks at her and she goes, "My dear, we're going to have to disinfect that." As you proceed to your table.
I just
Um,
sigh as I step out of the tent and rub my face.
Sitting at the table is your right hand.
Let's go.
Her full name is Lieutenant Amara Ripet, Rippeh.
French.
Um, she's a water genasi
Oh,
who
cool.
has been given the nickname Lieutenant Ripper. Um, partly because it's a play on her last name, and also partly because of her blade, which is also named the Ripper. It is a flissa, so a short sword that doesn't have a pommel per se, but the blade extends slightly over the fingers in a curved arc that then fans and then rips up towards a very sharp point. And it's named the Ripper because it is enchanted. So when she cuts into someone or it feels blood and flesh, it then turns into a serrated edge at her will. And she is a menace on the battlefield. She has been a soldier since birth from a family of soldiers. She is straight-laced, straightforward, not great at talking to people. She leaves most of the crew control to you, kind of a blade to be wielded. And as you approach the table, she looks at you, bows her head, and says, "Captain, it is good to see you."
I just drop the confident facade and I, with the drink in my hand, just lean hard on the table and just rub my eyes a little bit. And I look at Ripper. For a good amount of that raid today, I thought that might be it. They're starting to figure us out, Ripper, and if Captain Silver were there, that would have been, I just don't know. And I'm tired. But, I mean, you're just a machine. You keep on going, but it's been a long couple months. I take a drink.
Performed your role admirably. You do a fine job as a captain. And I am confident that, for good or bad, this war will be over soon.
Thank you. What are you going to do once we win? And I give a smirk.
She looks at you and
I've never asked.
She kind of pauses to herself and she says, "Frankly, sir, I haven't thought too much about it. My family has for generations lived and died on the battlefield, and I am confident that our role being to end wars will be accomplished, although I am not sure what my role would be once that has happened. I'm sure that it will probably be to find another battlefield, to fight another war, and then maybe to die on that one."
Well, as you know, most of the people I knew fled. And if you wanted to take a break, I'd be happy to give you a home on our forest moon for a time as a thank you. And to have a friend.
She kind of looks away for a second and says, "Thank you for the invitation, but I am afraid that I'll probably have to turn it down. I have never felt right just sitting around."
He smiles at his mug. I knew you were going to say that. He smiles. I think it's right. You're not one to settle. And I think that's good. The world needs people like you. We need people like you.
"Thank you, sir. I'm going to go to my quarters. We have a big day tomorrow, and I want to make sure that I'm prepared for it."
Sounds about right. I'm going to do my darndest to relax just a little bit. Maybe I'll write in that journal. I haven't done that in a while.
"By all means, sir. And thank you."
Well, I'll see you tomorrow. Also, when you're fighting in front of young Timothy, could you just tone down the gore just a little bit? I saw it today. Why did you, the neck?
It's an
You didn't
efficient
have
way
to.
to end someone's life. The neck is connected to
The way that
very
the
vital
way.
organs.
Yeah. I'm just try to notice when young Timothy's around. You do great work, but phew, that sobered me up.
I will try to keep that in mind, sir. I'll try to aim for less important organs, which would cause them to suffer for longer before death.
Oh, don't do that either. I
She
don't know.
she pushes her bowl away, half eaten, and stands up and says, "Sir, have a good night,"
Uh,
and then heads to her cabin.
and there I sit alone at this table.
Yep.
I assume the crew is celebrating. Maybe some
Oh
are
yeah.
starting to go to
They
bed.
start to wind down a little bit. They're down for a party, but they also know that they have jobs to do, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't want a bunch of people that are fully. Some of them are going to be hammered, just absolutely plastered tomorrow. But you don't want an entire crew full of people that can't see straight while you're trying to like pilot a boat.
Yeah, that's very
Um,
true. I also before the night sequence or whatever, I will pick myself up, and even though I'm tired, I will knock out Keen and Tim's duties for that evening because I told them I would.
Absolutely.
Uh, yeah, I like tighten the ropes and I don't know, put the food away, whatever they do.
Absolutely. Um, Fantastic. You go about your duties, still feeling it a little bit, heart warmed by the conversations that you had, and eventually, once all of your jobs are done, you head to your cabin to sleep. Um, you close your eyes and fall asleep, and then you are woken up by the sound of a gun firing. Um, it
I get up
shakes you.
immediately.
Yep, it shakes you awake. You are a little confused, a little disoriented, and then the door slams open
Oh no.
As Lieutenant Ripper
Oh.
kicks down the door and then kicks someone off of her blade with a sickening as the serrated edge of her blade leaves the body of some poor soul. And she says, "Captain, we've been boarded."
We've been we've been boarded at night? What?
I
Right
don't know
now? This
how.
doesn't happen.
Some ship
How
pulled
do
up
they find
alongside
us?
us. I
All
don't
right, how
know,
many?
sir. Frankly, more than we have.
Well,
We're
is the
fighting them
crew
off best we
awake?
can. Yes, they're fighting. They're doing their best. They were startled, but we're. I wouldn't say we're gaining on them. They're gaining on us. Sir,
I
I
hear
need you to
somebody down the
calm down.
hallway. I need you to take care of them.
I will take care of them. I'm going to head towards the helm. They have hooks latched on us. You need to go and get them off.
Oh, thank God.
We can't
All
leave
right.
until we're detached.
Okay, you cover me. Make sure the crew is focusing on the people. I'm gonna try to get those hooks off, and we'll figure this out.
Yes, sir. As soon as they
Go.
are, I'll bring us out of here. She heads off. She just punches someone in the nose and then stabs them in the stomach before throwing them off the side of the ship.
Oh,
Um,
horrifying. I'll get my boots on. You know, I'll
Absolutely. You
put
suit
on
up.
my vest with Captain. Yeah, really fast. I've actually practiced this, and I sleep next to my gun, and so I'll put the rifle on my shoulder, and I think I'll attempt to sort of leave my room in a way that's the least noticeable. I think I want to try to get to the hooks without taking attention. I'm trusting Ripper to take
Absolutely.
the attention off of me.
It will not be difficult. Roll a stealth check for me. This is going to be uh pretty simple. The you step out on the deck and it is full chaos. Um,
Oh. Oh
you're
my gosh. And
maybe
everybody's like half drunk.
yep, you're
This is
maybe
really bad.
20 functioning crew members as 5 to 7 of them are like still waking up or were surprise attacked and wounded are currently fighting off a superior force. You look to the side. Your ship is a schooner. It's a two-mast schooner that's gaff rigged with these they appear triangular but they're actually a four-sided and then top controlled sails that's purely intended for speed. Alongside you is a ship that is familiar to you. It's a brig that has been customized with 3 masts that are fully rigged with 6 sails. And on its side is painted a name that strikes fear into your heart,
No.
the Moonraker. This is the ship of Captain Silvers.
Damn, that Captain Silvers. He found us.
Roll your stealth check real quick for me.
First roll of campaign 2 for me. It's fine. It's an 11, 7
It's
on
11.
die.
That is good enough. It is full chaos. People are not paying attention to someone intending to be sneaky. How this is gonna go? There are 6 basically like boarding hooks that have been like slammed out of the side of the Moonraker, and
I've seen these
impaled
before.
into your deck.
He's
Absolutely.
tried to get us many times with these, but we've always evaded.
Absolutely.
So I'm familiar.
You will need to go to these and unhook them. On the way, you are going to encounter situations. If you choose to intercede, you'll have disadvantage on your roll to get the hook undone. Now, mind you, you will still unhook it, but it'll cost you time and it'll cost you personnel. If you choose not to help them, they will also have to roll. So I'm going to roll, you're going to roll. If you help them, they'll have advantage. If they fail, bad things will happen to these crew members.
Oh, this is awful. Is there a time limit? Like, if I don't unhook enough times, is bad things gonna happen?
If you fail enough times, it will be considered a failure overall.
Oh my gosh, this is awful.
So,
I have to choose between my crew members and my crew members.
Absolutely. You head off towards the first hook under the cover of night. It is dark. The only light is from brief flashes of gunpowder as guns fire and sparks from blades clashing. And you see, as you're heading down towards the first hook, young Timothy is off in the distance. He's rushing into combat, attempting to like hook a sword belt. As he's running, he like drops his sword.
Oh my gosh!
Do you choose to intercept Timothy? Or head straight to the hook?
It's young Timothy. We got these hooks, but come on.
Young Timothy, you walk up to him and sneak and like put a hand on his shoulder. He, Timothy, in a panic, kind of like swings blindly.
Whoa, hey, it's me.
He looks at you and he's like, oh, Captain,
look, I need you to hide. We can handle this. Stay calm. Breathe.
Okay.
Trust in your crew. Yeah. Think about what they might need. Hide and get them the things they need. Remember, cannons. They need gunpowder. Who's getting gunpowder?
The cannons. Oh, me.
You, Timothy.
Okay. Yes,
sir. Breathe. Do your job. Business as normal.
Okay, sir.
I'll take care of this Yahoo, because I assume there's an enemy.
Absolutely. He's like creeping up.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And you like, with your like, the blade that you keep at your side for close range combat. He goes, oh, Captain. Thank you. I will, I'll go fetch what's needed. I'll stay safe. Good
Run!
Luck, yes. Okay. You kind of like slap him on the backside with the flat of your blade as he like ups to it, leaving his blade on the ground.
Remember why we fight, Timothy. Remember why we fight.
As you fend off the assailants and then head over to the hooks, I'm gonna ask you, how would you like to disable this hook? What skill would you like to use?
Hear me out. Performance. I'm just kidding. I think... Here's what I think I'd like to do. I think it would be a survival check. But as one of the pruning from my moon, I'm really good at tying knots that could be used in different traps and things like that. So I would like to untie whatever knot work is attached to the metal.
Absolutely.
Probably using maybe my hilt, like using whatever tools I have to help loosen this knot and release it.
100%. These hooks are a combination of a stable mechanism and a like rope mechanism, so they can be launched long distance as well. Roll a survival check. By the way, your DC is low for this one. It will increase for each hook you encounter.
Okay.
You will have disadvantage on the roll because you helped Timothy.
Oh, true. I rolled a 6 twice, so that'll be a 9.
A 9 is not high enough.
I figured.
You are having trouble in the dark, even with your expertise in knots. You are struggling, but eventually you manage to find the right little lump in the line, unhook that, and the rope
Come on,
and steel swings away from the side of your ship.
Loosen up, loosen. All right.
This did cost you some time, and
team,
your crew is losing this fight. You head along to the next hook. As you're approaching it, you see off to the side Tim Rutger, the halfling.
Oh, the wasted halfling that just passed out like 4 hours ago.
He is on the foremain yard, the cross beam that holds up the sails on the mast. He is currently in a duel with a cutlass above the floor of your ship, high up on the masts, in a 1v1 as he is getting pushed back towards the end, apparently trying to defend your sails from and rigging from damage. You have the hook to your right. Up above you, there is Tim Rutger. What would you like to do?
Looking at Tim, watching him struggle through the fight, knowing that I allowed them to some degree to drink. Also knowing, though, that what Tim was willing to give up for this fight, I put my hand on my captain's badge and say to myself, it's why we do it. And I turn and I look at the knot. I'm like, time to get this thing loosened up.
So while you roll your check to undo the knot, just a flat roll here, I'm going to roll for Tim. Tim. Let's see how he does.
Come on, Tim, please.
Okay. How are you doing on that now? What did you get?
12. Better.
12 is good enough. For this one.
Woo!
This time, look. It's not like they tie different knots for every single hook. You know this one. You've encountered on the last one. You already know the trick. It's still pretty difficult in the darkness. But you manage to slip your blade under, tilt up, slice through a little bit here, untie the knot, and it swings away. Up above you, you hear a cry, and you wince, and then see, kind of on one knee, after having dangled for a moment from the foremain yard, Tim Rutger has climbed on as the cry was from the assailant as he fell from the mast. Tim Rutger has succeeded in his task.
Whoa! Yeah, baby! That's what we're talking about, Tim! I see you! Keep it up!
Tim holds up a sword arm. He's like covered in gashes, and he's like, yeah!
Yeah!
That is one success. As you head forward,
I do our little ship salute thing, whatever it is, something like this. Like
the rebel sign.
It's why we're here. It's why we're here. All right, I'm done.
This time, as you're heading towards the next the next hook, you see back against the wall, being engaged on 3 sides, is Jerry. He's currently shifted into his he is a wolf shifter. He is a beast-hide wolf shifter. His fur is silver and gray in the scant bits of light that drift through the grotto. He is cut and wounded, but his transformation is pretty much keeping him alive. He's currently fending off the 3 attackers with a kitchen knife and a frying pan. You see that his blade was knocked out of his hand some ways away, currently laying on the ground. He is fighting off these 3 attackers, and there is a hook.
3 attackers. Okay. I just say under my breath, what are we gonna do without Jerry? And I take off my rifle off my shoulder and silently aim at the one that's the closest to Jerry.
Fantastic. Jerry will roll his roll with advantage. You will roll your check with disadvantage.
Oh. All right. Yeesh. That's an 8, DM.
8 is not good enough. Now, your roll was not good enough. Jerry's was. You fire off a shot that not only lands, hitting the assailant and knocking him down and away from Jerry, taking him out of the fight, but also grabs the other attackers' attention towards you, which is why you have so much trouble with the knot, as you then have to deal with this combat. Behind you, you see Jerry revitalized, knowing that his captain is on his side, and in a burst of speed that may be the fastest this man will ever run again. He gets real low, almost on all fours, like a predator, and then slips below the blade of the attacker, who was momentarily distracted by your bullet, and then plunges the kitchen knife deep underneath his ribs. And then just straight up takes a bite out of his neck. He gives like kind of a roar from an old wolf, howling. And he turns towards you as you defeat your assailant. And he says, "Oi, Captain, oi! It's been a while since I felt my blood course through my body.
Yes, look alive, Jerry. Look alive, Jerry."
And then Jerry just pounds off farther into the deck, picking up his blade and immediately running it through another attacker.
I've never seen him do that before.
You
turn to the knot.
You finally get through this knot. Once again, it costs you time, and in a losing battle, that time is not something that you have a lot of.
I can't help him anymore, I don't think.
Going forward, you see Anna, the pixie. Currently, she is attempting to deal with multiple mages. And she is struggling, seeing as these mages have understood the fact that she does not have a lot of mental or magical resistances, and is keeping her at bay with illusions, mind control, basically attempting to keep a feral dog at bay by with pepper spray, and just hoping that the smell keeps them away. And it is frankly working. And you do see other combatants creeping up on her, seeing that she's a little bit disabled and can't fight back quite as well. What would you like to do?
Watching the scene unfold, I say to myself, Anna said it would be an honor. Maybe she can still pull this one through.
Okay.
And I look at her and silently give her the salute, and I turn to my knot because we can't waste no more time. I'm sorry, Anna, but look.
Absolutely.
This guy's on her shit, bro.
Please roll your check to undo this knot.
Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. All right. It's cocked. Let's try that again. Ooh, that's better.
Hey.
That is a 19.
19 is easily good enough. You're getting in the swing of things now.
Oh, yeah.
You very deftly just and slice away this from the from
I know
the
exactly which loop to loosen up. I know what to pull. Yeah, it's getting easier.
Turn over your shoulder.
Oh no.
It is a massacre.
Oh, wait. Which side?
And a crit. So
Yeah, she
Anna
did. I knew
has-
she could do it.
you've learned something interesting about Anna on this night, is that she is a barbarian with mindless rage.
Let's
And so
go
she
right
goes
now.
into a rage. All of those charm and fear effects and illusions that were plaguing her are shattered. And in an instant, she is flitting between people's legs, slicing at their tendons, sticking blades in any piece of flesh that she can find within a 5-foot radius. It's gruesome, frankly. It's not pleasant to watch, but there is like a deep-seated sense of pride like where it's like,
Oh, yeah.
at least she's on our side.
True. And yeah, relief, honestly.
And
Just
as
like,
Anna, this
yeah.
red-bathed pixie, defeats the nearest attacker to her, she turns towards the rest of the enemy that is moving towards her, and she screams, and then just rushes off into battle, completely unaware of your presence.
Do that again. Do that again. Discord, cut it out. I didn't hear it.
I want some!
All right, that's good.
There we go. Perfect.
And they all start running from her.
Literally, it is like 10 like 6'4" like warriors that are fleeing from this woman the size of a small cat.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
It is not good. Look,
They're all tripping over each other.
She doesn't like kill people quickly. It's like not fun.
It's even worse than Ripper.
Yeah,
because Ripper does it quickly.
Ripper is efficient. Anna is vengeful.
I am with a furrowed brow and revitalized watching Anna's performance on the battlefield. I move on to the next not location.
This time, as you're approaching the rear of the ship, as
the
you were
stern.
near, the stern. Thank you. I wrote down so many nautical terms, and then for some reason didn't include that.
I got you. I'm the captain after all.
Absolutely, you should know this. You head towards the stern. The stairs leading up from the deck where you are. Beneath them is like a cornered animal. Stands Dr. Anna Rose, standing over a wounded combatant, currently dual wielding scalpels. She has syringes hooked on like a bandolier, and she is attempting to fend off several attackers who are trying to kill their prey that she is currently standing over, like a mother cat defending her kittens. What would you like to do?
This sucks. Dr. Anna, it's like I think it's hard because Anna, literally the ROI on Anna might be enough. You know what I mean? Like saving Anna could mean that more people are saved.
This is a real business-esque way to look at it.
I just have to look at things objectively, right? As a captain in hard situations, what's the best, you know? Mm-hmm. How many hooks do I have left? 3?
After this one,
2?
there is only one more hook that you will need to get to.
And I've helped 2 people, so I think I can afford one more person. I will help Anna.
Okay.
And how many assailants are there versus Anna?
There's around 4 or 5.
4 or 5?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
This is apparently the location that they boarded from the stern.
What are the surroundings?
So there's more combatants here. There's stairs heading up, doors that go further into the ship, as well as, there's a mast nearby, barrels, some tables from last night.
There's some barrels. Are there any like potatoes or something that affect like in a barrel?
Absolutely.
I think what I want to do is just scare them. So I'm going to imitate grenades. Yeah, and I'm going to roll potatoes at them so that hopefully they react and Anna gets the jump on them.
Very similar to the mythical origin story of the food lefse, which was when I think it was like Swedish defenders fought off attackers by throwing potatoes at their boat.
That's awesome. Potatoes hurt. They're they're
not fun. So Dr.
So
Anna Rose will
yeah,
have
yep.
advantage, and you'll have disadvantage to undo this line. I'm rolling hot tonight. Like,
Whoa, let's go,
good lord.
yeah.
Um, so first of all, what did you roll?
I I regret to inform that I think it's a 12 with disadvantage,
Okay. Okay.
and I don't think that's enough.
Um, we will see.
Okay.
The you start just lobbing. You yell grenade. And just
Great.
start lobbing potatoes at
Rolling.
them. In the darkness, they can't see what's happening, so some of them
Exactly.
immediately take
Oh.
cover. One of them just gets full on hit by the potato. Um, and in the distraction, you see Anna Rose sheath a scalpel and then launch like a fan of syringes. As they like one sticks in a guy's neck, another in the arm, and they just fully just
Oh.
straight on die. Like it, you're not sure what's in these syringes.
Oh.
But like
What did
three of
she
them
do
just
for
die.
malpractice? This
That's a
seems
fantastic
nefarious.
question that she is kind of cagey about.
Captain Leslie takes a brief beat to think about how Anna might not be who he thinks she is, Ida Rose. He begins to put two and two together here. But he's
Absolutely.
proud that she's on the team either way.
Um, you they full on die and she's in a much better position. The last one, she just runs up as he's like huddled in the ground, hoping to like not die to a frag grenade. She runs over and just like flips the scalpel around in her hand and goes like right through the temple.
Oh,
um
oh, oh, oh.
and she looks over at you and says, very good, Captain. Thank you. I was in a rather dire position.
Impressive display. Try to get the injured to safety if you can.
Yes, Captain. And she
And feel
walks
free
over.
to take one or two out on the way. I see that you
And
are well capable.
she says, Captain, I'm working. And then immediately just starts
Oh,
in mid battle, starts just stitching up the wounds of the like. You now see that there are like four people that she had just like piled under the stairs to like protect them as best she could, and just starts stitching away at wounds, and then like rolling them off, sticking them with morphine, and just moving along their way.
eyes
Um,
wide, I nod and I tip my hat even though she can't see it. And I move on to the knot, which I rolled a 12 on.
Absolutely. As you approach the knot, um, unfortunately, you did not succeed on this, and that is three failures. Um,
Oh my goodness, this is bad. This is bad, isn't it? This is really bad.
as
I
you
hate Captain
approach,
Silver, whatever his name is.
as you approach the knot, for the first time, light enters into the grotto. Um, a moon casts its light down through the heavy foliage into kind of the only open air that you see. And for the first time, you're able to witness what exactly is happening on your ship, and see in a truer sense what is going on. Um, the ship is covered in blood. Bodies lay, both your crew and your opponents. And standing on the hook to your ship, bedecked in a long, um, currently Navy garb, as he has been indoctrinated into the Navy of Ouroboros, stands Captain Silvers. A wide-brimmed hat with a flagrant plume out of the top of it. He has scars all over his body. His face is grizzled. His hair is long and curly, almost down to his shoulder blades. It hangs. He has an eye patch over one eye and a long silver cutlass that he is currently resting his hands on. He only has one leg. The other leg, his left leg, is a peg, as he lost it in battle years ago. And he looks at you, and there's almost a silence as the two warriors face off against each other. And his voice cuts across the din of battle, and he says, "Well, well, well. Captain Leslie. It's been a while since we've spoken in person."
I would like to bonus action shift. And
Absolutely.
while my features slowly become more lion-like and the beast within starts revealing itself, as my eyes become more slitted and my face elongates and I begin to grow fur and my hands claws start coming out of them. As all this happens slowly, have you no honor? You couldn't beat me in battle. You couldn't catch us then, so you had to surprise us in the midst of celebration. Do you know whom you fight for? You don't fight for somebody worth fighting. You fight against people. You're on the wrong side, Captain. And now we're going to see which captain is deserving of that title. I slowly pull my gun off my shoulder and start lifting it towards him. I'll let you say what you want to say. But then I'm going to shut you up for good, you hear?
He leans on his blade and he says, "Captain Leslie, I have respect for you, I truly do. You're a fine captain and a fine man. But you've got a misunderstanding. I don't fight for who you think I fight for. I fight only for myself. I fight for my own freedom. And it's truly unfortunate that it happens to be that means I'm fighting against you. Because truly, you're a fine man. So I'll offer you a deal.
I'm listening.
A duel. If you win, you can take our ship, you can take our lives. We'll leave you be. It's all yours. If you lose, however, the same is true. How does that sound? If you lose, we take your lives, we take your ship. I am freed from my burden of crime. The warrants out for me are left. I'm sure that they will reward me greatly for your head. And you, of course, will have me offer your back. Frankly, the only salt dog worth fighting against you. There'll be no one to stop you anymore.
I want you to know that this is an unfair fight. Because I have a lot of experience killing. And I start walking towards him. I'll take you up on that offer, and your ship is going to burn.
He looks at you and he says, "Oh, I think you've misunderstood. Once again, boyo. It's not me you're dueling."
What?
What's your AC?
13.
13, okay.
Leather armor. What are you gonna do to me? No initiative, no nothing. Just
this would
right
be considered
into
a surprise round.
Oh no! Wait, this is bad. I think you know, he's on the ropes, literally.
Yeah, as you are taking your first step towards Captain Silvers, you pause
Gun
for a
pointed
moment
at him.
because something feels off. And as you pause, you cough, and there's blood on your hand.
What?
And as you look down, you see a wicked sharp Flissa as
what?
The blade in front of you that is stuck through your back goes and turns serrated as Lieutenant Ripper pulls her blade out, ripping muscle and bone as the serrated edge tears through you. You are dealt 19 points of slashing damage.
Can I still speak a little bit?
Yes, absolutely.
That's enough. That's enough.
As you stagger towards the edge, holding your chest, trying to keep your necessary blood in your body, you turn to see the blood-soaked blade of Lieutenant Ripper.
Lieutenant, I thought, do you fight for only yourself too? I thought you fought for us. Why?
Captain, I told you I'm a soldier. I end wars. And frankly, this was the fastest way to do so. And I am sorry because you were a very good captain.
And you were a good soldier. Which is why it hurts. It hurts really bad. I don't know if I'm going to make it back from this, to be honest, Ripper.
She walks up and she says, real close, almost whispering in your ear, the respect for you that I have is real. Which is why I had to be the one. Because no one else could.
I take my hand off my wound and I do my best to straighten myself. And I do the salute, put the fist over my badge, and I say, you haven't won the war yet. It's more than me.
She looks at you and she says, you're right. But it won't be long. And she takes a step and then, almost more of like a push, raises her leg and kicks you in the chest over the rail.
Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. And I mean, I don't have the strength to contest or anything.
Absolutely
like it's like kicking. What is like kicking? It's like kicking vacuum cleaner. It just falls over.
You tumble over the rail of the skirmisher into a sea of stars. And as you fade in and out of consciousness, you're not sure for how long you fall.
I literally just got ejected.
Yep. You hear first one voice. And it says, how beautiful. A being dancing on the edge of life and death. A blazing arrow shot into the darkness. A second voice comes in, and it says, will it sputter and die or start a roaring blaze? And then a third voice comes in, and it says, as we always have, we shall watch. No, hush. It is waking.
What?
And you open your eyes in the cold sweat of your cabin bed. You have a long day ahead of you. As you sit up and go about your daily tasks, could you tell us kind of what we see? Tell us about your character.
Yeah, he sits up from bed and leans heavily and rubs his eyes the same way he did at that table years and years ago. You see a man whose years are beginning to add up. He looks tired. His noticing caramel gold eyes hide behind his dark cowboy-esque hat. Crudely cut sandy hair spills down around his head, complemented by his strong, contouring beard. You can tell he cares. His thick hide jacket looks well made, but used. The notch in his large collar means he's a tradesman of some sort. That explains why his clothes look well worked in. The sleeves of his jacket are creased and scarred. His handmade pants look tailored to fit him, but sturdy enough to work in. His tired boots look like horse riding boots, and they could certainly use a good polishing. His tired face and noticing eyes makes Leslie look altogether kind and dangerous.
Absolutely. You get up and go about your day because you have deliveries to make in town. So as you saddle up your old swayback horse and hook them up to the wagon to bring your goods, that is where our one shot is going to end today.
Let's go! That
Absolutely.
was fire! That was
Sweet.
so fun. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this was the one shot for Grant DeFore, who's playing Captain Leslie, or well, former Captain Leslie.
Just Leslie now.
Just Leslie now, also known as Bear, I believe.
Bear.
Also known as Bear.
Only known as Bear where we are.
Yeah, for the most part. Grant, what did you think? Did you have fun?
That was lots of difficult decisions were made.
Absolutely.
I quickly felt so attached to the crew, and I felt like it was very natural for Leslie to fulfill that sort of encourager role, that captain.
Fantastic.
And it was so fun, man. I feel so good, so excited about this character. Thank you so
an
much.
Absolute blast. I think that you did a fantastic job. I hope that all of you watching had a good time. And you will be present for the other one shots that you have yet to see. Go check those out. We'll be releasing them. Maybe they're already out. Who knows? Go find them. Go find out. And then be there for the first episode of Campaign 1, whenever that is. Insert editing magic.
And if you're on Kickstarter, thank you for supporting the show.
You'll get to see a little bit of the behind the scenes afterwards too. Some comments there. You are all vital, and we are happy to have you and thankful for your time and the resources that you give us to make good content. We hope to see you and at the start of campaign 2 as you get to watch all of these characters interact with each other and go on an adventure.
Oh boy.
The only thing that I have left to say to that is good luck and Godspeed, everyone. We will see you next time, Dungeoneers. Goodbye.
Bye.